Hello, everyone. Your favorite comm major, Jim, is here. And I just wanted to talk to you about Anchor.fm. It is super easy to set up a podcast and get it out to all those amazing podcast platforms your friends use. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading you this ad. And I'm also a member. So honestly, it's super easy, even for the comm majors. You know, we did not do enough work in college, but it's super easy to upload your episode, get it out there to all those services. So if you want to start a podcast, go to anchor.fm/start and you can, check it out right there. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
Hello and welcome to Comm Majors. I'm Brian Costello.
I'm Jim DeSanto.
I'm Katie the Banzai tree.
Not your best work.
No, I don't know what to be for this movie. And
John Katie.
John Katie.
That
John
would be a good
DeSanto. Thank you. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I missed my opportunity.
Hey.
And we are joined by a special guest today for the first time ever. At the same time, Katie and
Hello, I'm Keenan.
Keenan. And we haven't.
Pop Adult
nothing
fame.
has exploded.
No. Keenan, where are
both
you
on
from,
the show.
Keenan?
The eighth
I
dimension.
am from Pop Adult.
Eighth dimension.
Pop Adult podcast.
The only way we could have
Wait.
Keenan and Katie on together is if we went to the eighth dimension.
Are you a red lectoid or a black lectoid?
Did you Google that?
I did look at the Wikipedia.
There you go.
I was like, what are the aliens called? I don't know. Aliens. I didn't change it in my rundown. I was just wondering because then I started thinking about the movie and I was like, I really have no idea what was happening.
I made my wife watch this. She enjoyed it.
You caused your wife a great deal of pain in a short period of time.
Lord,
So
she must
today,
love you. That's newlywed status right there. That's newlywed status.
well, it's not the worst thing he's made her watch. So that
That's
might.
true.
They did watch Cats.
That's true. Bone crusher.
So
Oh no, you guys made me watch that.
I had nothing to do with that.
No, yeah, that was mostly Brian.
Don't throw that at me. Don't throw that stone at me.
I didn't watch it. I don't know why.
No, I know you teamed up. You teamed up with Tim to force me to watch it.
No.
Well,
Anyway.
Text.
Anyway.
No.
So today we're going to look at a film that teaches us no matter where you go, you're there.
Film.
As we discuss the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the eighth dimension. But first, as always, we ask the most pressing question of every episode. What are we drinking this episode? What does everybody have to go to the eighth dimension?
I have some nice Four Roses bourbon. Again, in the, I don't know if you can see that. It says Big Shot.
Shot.
Big Shot.
It's like a giant shot glass that is basically a tumbler. It's kind of fun.
Very cool.
Did ya? We broke the tradition of the cinematically themed beverage.
It was undrinkable, and I'll tell you.
You did make one?
Well, I was thinking about it, and then I thought better.
So in your mind, it was undrinkable?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
He was
hypothetical
constructing a drink
in the
his
eighth
mind.
dimension
Well,
that was unreality.
To really build a drink that encompassed the layers of flavors in this movie, it was basically, we have, for Christmas last year, I think it was last year, I got a box set of a bunch of different bitters flavors. It's like celery bitters, orange bitters, all kinds of good stuff. And what I did was in my mind, the Buckaroo Banzai drink was every type of bitters we have, which is like 7 types of bitters, into one glass.
I knew that's where
And
it was
then
going.
you just serve it with a Twizzler as the straw.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I made myself a little something when you were not here the other night. I don't know where you were. And I didn't realize I did not have a full shot of tequila left. And so I filled the rest of the shot with gin,
Yo.
which is an interesting mixture.
Nope.
No.
Not really. Not my
Not
favorite.
interested in that.
It was all right. A little citrus, a little sugar, a little gin, and tequila.
All right. Keenan, what do you have?
All right. So at the beginning of quarantine, I took some Tito's vodka and pineapple, put it in a mason jar, let it sit in the pantry for the whole time. I cracked it open like last night.
Yes.
And this is that. This
Magic.
is
Ooh, love it.
of course, like
magic.
I squeezed the pineapple juice in there, so it's not just straight pineapple flavored vodka.
I actually traveled to the 8th dimension
nice.
to access that reality, and hence my pineapple themed sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
Love it. I just have a Miller Lite.
All right.
That's good.
Had a few too many beers last night in order to be able to watch this film.
Yeah. Well,
So-
but you're
You
bringing the
picked it.
best prop, which is your T-shirt, Brian. So
Yes.
share it with the friends who are not
How
watching.
did this get made t-shirt? I thought this might have been an appropriate choice for tonight's film.
How did this get made? I think this is the worst. Jim asked me, "Is this the worst movie we have watched all year?" We meant to go back and look at the list, but I'm going to go with a preliminary yes.
Okay, I
Worst.
disagree, but we'll
Yeah,
go into that. Fact check. Thrilled to have Keenan here. Keenan, of course, since you've last been here, which was not too long ago, actually.
Right, we did North by Northwest.
North by Northwest.
Yes.
But Keenan in that time has gotten married. Congratulations. He's
Thank you.
married.
Thank you.
To
Cheers.
you.
Cheers. He is
Yay,
re-enrolled
Mandy.
into school. I mean, he's getting a life.
God, he's all
And-
grown up. He's
and
all grown
What is
up.
my major?
Your communication.
I'm a
Communications major.
Communications.
Ah, that's so exciting.
So Katie's
All
not.
right.
Katie's the English major.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But she's
But
an
I
honorary.
respect you.
Honorary coming. Just wanted to update everybody. The best part of Pop Adult, Tim Parker, it is healthy.
Right here.
He's healthy. Keenan, I would never say anything behind your back I wouldn't say right to your face. Tim, thankfully, is healthy.
Right.
I know a lot of people were concerned.
Yes.
He tested negative.
Excellent.
He is fine.
How was the nasal swab situation? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Did it affect his voice?
No.
No.
I don't
I
think
need a
so.
check.
Him after.
After he was swabbed?
Yes, he
was
had
on
had his
Midsummer.
test already.
Oh, I didn't know he had already
Did
been
you
tested.
not even listen?
Well, I just
No,
re-listened
I'm not
today,
sure
and I
she
did not.
did.
I did not get that he had already been tested. Okay, carry on.
Just to clarify from last week, Heidi Klum is in fact German.
That was my second
Which
guess.
you threw in there was your second
Yep,
guess,
yep.
but just so you know. An exciting news, I will be taking part in helping moderate a live book discussion
Oh.
with #1 New York Times bestseller Kyle Mills on September 19th.
I don't know if you
on
know
the
that
World.
book's by Vince Flynn.
No, Vince
Yeah.
Flynn's character.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And that will be on the World Wide Web for all to watch as part of his book release.
Will we share it
Can
on
we-
our Comm Majors page?
Yeah, we can share it on our Comm Majors
That's
page.
exciting,
This person
Brian.
It was a big
is
deal.
a New York Times #1 bestseller.
How many times is Brian going to mention his podcast on this moderation
how many.
situation?
Let's make it
There-
a drinking game.
It could be a drinking game.
Also,
In fact, I wanted to turn Buckaroo Banzai into a drinking game because
yeah,
I
it's too
wonder
easy.
how many times
It's too
did
easy.
someone say Buckaroo Banzai?
If there's
in
there's
this
a couple
movie?
ways. Every time someone says it, or you just drink until you like the movie and you die.
both ways you die.
And you get your stomach pumped.
Brian, were you invited to this prestigious event because of your role as host of Comm Majors?
No.
Oh.
Not in the least. I was out of the blue contacted by a bookstore who's asked me to moderate the event.
This is quite exciting.
Does not have anything to do with
Quite
Comm.
exciting.
What's a bookstore?
Oh, Jim.
Jim, that kind of attitude is why Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world.
Everybody should be supporting their local bookstores right
Yes.
now. Don't listen to my husband. We've had 2 book deliveries to our house from local bookstores. It's
Love
lovely.
it.
It's lovely.
So that will be coming up. Okay, it is time for the rundown.
Oh, Lord. I'm Andy Borowitz with the rundown of this film. Buckaroo Banzai is a story dreamed up by an 8-year-old who thought, what if I was the best at everything? I could be a brain surgeon who could also travel through time and space and be a rock star so cool that everybody would love me. He thought I'd be so cool that even if I found out that my dead ex-wife had a suicidal identical twin, it wouldn't shake my confidence. Even if the president of the United States called me for advice, it would be no big whoop. Even if I traveled into another dimension, in the middle of a mountain, brought back alien life, and realized that there were aliens living among us, disguised as humans, trying to overthrow the human race and each other, I would think, no job too big for Buckaroo Banzai. That's all I got. I don't even know.
Movie is fucking terrible.
Dear Lord, this movie.
Not.
It is so bad. It is an honest to God real conversation whether this is as bad as Mazes and Monsters.
It is.
Oh, I don't think it's as bad as Mazes and Monsters.
This feels like a
I guess
schizophrenic brain.
it depends on your idea of like what's better. Obviously, this is a much better made film in some ways. It is not at all enjoyable.
They had a crisis of story.
This movie is a disgrace to screenwriting.
In some room far away,
Right.
people were like, well, maybe he should be a brain surgeon.
The script to Mazes and Monsters is better than
maybe
this
he should be a pilot. Heck, let's just
They
make him
should've-
all of those things.
They should have brought Rona Jaffe.
So, yeah.
Oh, Rona would have made this better.
Rona Jaffe.
Rana would have run with this.
Where do we start with this? By the way, I brought a prop for today's episode so I could be part of the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Oh, very nice.
And also maybe
let's
do a
start
little.
with that.
Do a little.
Let's start with that. Oh, the bubble wrap here protected. You can see things now. Let's start with what is the purpose of him being a musician in this movie? Tell me why he's
Is that
a rock
where we
star.
want to start?
Yeah,
Because
let's do it.
Well, no,
my
he
hot
starts
take-
as
Peter
a brain
Weller's an
surgeon.
actual- yeah.
Okay, my hot take on this is that I just wanted a concert film. I wish that there wasn't even a film, that it was just Buckaroo Banzai
Well,
and
I
the
said
Hong
that.
Kong
Kept saying,
Cavaliers
is he going to
concert
break
film.
into song at
this-
any
yeah.
point in
I
because
said
it
this
would make it
movie
better?
has to end with a concert, and it doesn't.
Yeah. That last scene where they're all at the aqueducts. Like,
Yeah,
I
what
want to
the
see
fuck
that they
is
have
that?
all,
Well, we should talk
and the
about that
red
at
and
the
black
end.
lectoids are there.
I was hoping that the cars from Greece were going to run them the fuck over, or the
Terminator.
the Terminator,
Terminator
yeah, LA
show
River.
up and just- so,
Okay, let's start at the beginning
Start
because
at the
there
very
is so
beginning.
much shit going on. Keenan,
Okay.
you're here to somehow explain this movie to us.
I can literally read you the
Why are they-
Wikipedia description.
The reason why they're
You'd still be
musicians
confused.
is that he's a jack of all trades, and how does someone like that?
He's
relax?
a polymath,
Well,
a pain in the ass.
He likes to play music with his buddies. That's what he does.
They are not an interesting band either.
not a hot fan of the Hong
That's
Kong
actually Peter
Cavaliers?
Weller. That is him playing pocket trumpet and
good-
guitar.
Good for him.
Okay.
So let's talk about his spidey senses that are not even
That's
Did
what
he
it's
just-
called.
Did he just say pocket trumpet?
Bone Crusher, the Bone Crusher, the pocket trumpet.
Sexual. That, like,
That's
really
his other name for his
disturbing
penis.
Bone Crusher. Keenan's mad already that we hate this movie.
I love that he's playing music and he has a spidey sense. He says, there is someone in this crowd who is not enjoying the show.
Yes.
He has spidey sense. In these hundreds of people, I sense
Yes,
there
he
is
does.
a woman crying.
And he shames this woman for feeling
Oh
terrible.
my God.
No, he doesn't shame
She
her.
was
He
not
shames
going to kill
everybody
herself
else.
before he talked about it. He led her down the path of suicide.
Wait, was she trying to kill herself?
Apparently,
I missed that.
according,
Yes. Yes,
according
she
to the
was.
She had a gun.
Wikipedia,
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
she
I
had a
thought she was
gun.
going to shoot him.
no,
Why was
no.
she
No,
drinking her
she was
own
putting it
booze?
to her head. The waiter dropped a drink and she turned and fired up in the air by
just-
accident.
Another hysterical female.
Yeah. Let's start with why we picked Keenan to be on this show. It goes back to, I think, our Ready Player One episode.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you're familiar with the movie Ready Player One, it's based on a book that is really rich in 80s nostalgia. and Steven Spielberg adapted it, and it's an okay movie. But I guess there's a point in the movie where there's a reference to Buckaroo Banzai.
Yes.
And Tim was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And Keenan's like, "Well, it's about, he's a surgeon, he's a musician, and then he's also like a super spy, whatever. He's got this group of guys." And Keenan talks for another few minutes. I was like, "Oh, the movie with the guy that's like a brain surgeon who does the movie." and Keenan's like, "Oh, you know it, Buckaroo." I'm like, "No, I have no idea."
I've mentioned this movie to quite a few people this week because they have asked, and not a single person that I spoke to had any idea what this film was.
Let's just say,
so I grew up watching this movie.
Of course,
I grew up on this movie. My dad introduced it to me. It was played on the same channels that we were watching Mad Max and Road Warrior and Time Bandits.
I watched all that. Time Bandits. I immediately said this. Like, I put this in the camp of Time Bandits. Time Bandits is a film. This is not a film. This is terrible.
But we watched these B movies, and
none of those are B movies compared to this.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're cult movies, I should say. They're
I guess
not
that's
B movies.
fair. That's fair.
Cult classics. We watched a whole bunch of cult classics, and I grew to love them, and I grew up on them. And you know what? I was a little afraid watching this. On this rewatch, I'd be like, "Oh, these are terrible." But you know what? I loved it.
Keenan,
I enjoyed this movie.
We have to have an intervention.
Much.
We have to have an intervention.
So much.
I mean, listen, I had to have it with Labyrinth. Jim had to have it with Mazes and Monsters. We need to have just an honest conversation.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Jim actually liked Mazes and Monsters.
Labyrinth is an excellent movie, by the way.
Labyrinth is a steamy pile of shit.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Jareth on Keenan.
Horrendous.
Our wedding song is from Labyrinth.
Is it the creepy one where David Bowie tries to seduce a 13-year-old girl?
And that's so weird.
that's our song. It's a great Bowie song.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
It is certainly not a great Bowie song.
No.
Nothing in that movie is
Mandy,
a great Bowie anything.
What's going on, Mandy? You have your own song,
That's
Mandy.
not like, if you are to list the great Bowie songs,
The song from Labyrinth?
I agree.
The one where he sang to a teenage girl?
It is special to you, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But great Bowie song it is not.
Oh, it is. It's a great song.
I had an idea when I was watching this last night, and I said to myself, would this movie not have been better if instead of Ellen Barkin, they had cast Ellen DeGeneres?
Oh, that's a great call. That's a great call. Ellen
That,
Barkin
to
was
me,
so bizarre in this movie.
Like, Ellen DeGeneres, to me, would have been a better choice for what was happening in this movie.
The only time that Ellen Barkin was not overacting this role was when she was supposed to be unconscious.
I thought she overplayed
Every
that.
other
Yeah, she
moment
overacted
of this
that,
film,
It was weird. I mean, the cast is incredible. The amount of people that are recognizable from this cast is absurd.
And I find that one guy in his band very attractive. The blonde.
Perfect Tommy.
The bleach blonde.
He's
with
perfect.
the white,
Super
like
hot.
white jacket.
It didn't matter what he wore.
Michael Madsen.
Say it again.
Really?
Who the what?
Michael Madsen was originally supposed to play that role, but then there was like conflicts. So
I don't know how they ended up where they ended up, but it was one good choice that they made.
By the way, there is a weird relationship with Buckaroo Banzai and Perfect Tommy that had me thinking that Perfect Tommy was going to betray him.
Yeah, but also, what about New Jersey? What was his relationship with New Jersey? I felt
They
like that
were
was always
doctors together.
Yeah, but I felt like that was always supposed to go somewhere. Like
nothing in this movie goes anywhere.
It was supposed to. This is supposed to be a series of movies.
This was supposed to be a franchise. Didn't you get the tease at the end?
I thought that was like tongue in cheek, like History of the World Part 2.
But let's be honest.
This was supposed to be a huge.
This doesn't feel like the beginning.
MCU.
No, this doesn't feel like the beginning of a story. This feels like they took 8 hours of story and then let their 5-year-old just cut pieces and smush it together with his Elmer's glue stick and say, "Mommy, I made a movie." That's what that felt like.
It's supposed to be like the serials, just like Star Wars is, where you're jumped into the middle of a franchise at a certain point in the story, and you're supposed to just like extrapolate everything from everything that you're given and just understand what's come before and just go along for the ride.
And this came out after all of the Star Wars movies, right?
No, this was 84. So
84?
before Jedi.
Yeah.
Right before Jedi.
With all of the worlds and peoples and races that exist within the Star Wars franchise, there is more confusion in this film. You can't compare the two. Like,
you could compare
you
this
can
to
show
the Phantom
Star Wars
Menace
to a child
because
you can show a child Star Wars and they're like, yes, I get this.
Basically the premise of this movie is that there are aliens that exist
in the eighth dimension.
No. First off,
they don't exist in the eighth dimension.
Right. It took me a long time to figure this the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it.
That if you put bubble wrap over your eyes, you can figure out who the aliens
so the
are.
aliens exist.
Put your bubble wrap on, Keenan.
At some point, there was a race war. There was and they literally say in this movie, your version, it's our version of Hitler.
Right.
Instead of killing that person, they banish him and his minions to the eighth dimension,
and they're all Rastafarians,
like the Phantom Zone.
No.
Superman 1 and 2.
They're all white.
Oh, okay.
Right. If you notice that all the people, all the good aliens are represented by the black humans. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then all the bad aliens are the white humans.
Mm.
Right. They are and they're distinct by red and black, I think is what they call them.
Correct. Right?
Yeah. So they were banished to the eighth dimension.
Like the communists?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. But what happens is Buckaroo Banzai and his
pickup truck with a rocket on the back of it
breaks the sound barrier. Then what I can only assume is the dimension barrier, and goes into the eighth dimension, and thus causes the aliens to realize that they can. I don't know. Some of them got. Oh, then there's this whole. I totally forgot. Then there's this whole other plot the war of the worlds.
John Big Booty.
That's amazing.
Is building weapons.
New Jersey was actually attacked by aliens when Orson Welles did the whole War of the Worlds.
Do you
thing.
mean Jeff Goldblum or the state of?
The state of. Yeah, we should clarify.
You're missing though.
To clarify.
Keenan, you go.
The experiment that Buckaroo Banzai is doing is it is trying to perfect the original experiment that his friend had done in 1938 with John Lithgow. And John Lithgow was the one who breached the dimensional barrier. And when he went through, just his top part did, and he was possessed by
just his head.
Right. He was possessed by this.
Not his pocket trumpet.
Just a little
bit of the bone crusher.
Just to see how it feels. Just for a second.
So
ouch, you're on my hair.
That's also why John Lithgow looks exactly the same, like 50 odd years later.
Right.
So much. My favorite character by far is John Lithgow's character.
God damn it!
Oh, John Lithgow is amazing in this movie.
The scenery, and the random cameo in the asylum, in the mental hospital.
Mike Erlenmeyer from Breaking Bad.
Some of my favorite stuff.
That is the best set.
The poster, but there's so much going on behind him. I felt like there's a lot to unpack here. The poster, where it's a picture at the top that says me, that he wrote on me, and then everybody underneath says everybody else. He wrote that. Loved that. I loved it. I loved the details there. There were moments where I was like, something could happen here, but no.
Yeah.
But no.
So, moving through the plot here, he breaks this barrier, right? That's supposed to be this amazing thing and all this. He then proceeds.
And that's where John Warther, or whatever his name is,
Worfen.
He realizes because the rest of his army is still in the eighth dimension. He's got some free with him. Some of the Reds are still free with him, but
John
the rest.
Booty.
The rest are in there, yes.
Who is Doc from
from
Back to the Future, Christopher Lloyd, and the subway ghost from the movie Ghost, which I don't remember his name.
Yes, I don't either.
Yeah.
And Dan Hedaya.
Dan Hedaya is in it. I mean, there's all these people in this. So then they proceed to hold what I thought was terrifyingly like one of Donald Trump's coronavirus presidential press conferences.
Excellent comparison.
In which Buckaroo Banzai, I'm pretty sure, has stolen a pair of glasses from Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yes.
The daytime talk show host.
Those are he made them work though. That was actually a cool. I liked it.
Also, he has invited the stranger who tried to kill herself at his most recent concert to sit up on the dais with him.
Oh yeah, she's
at the press conference to answer questions.
It's the identical sister of his,
and clearly she would be an authority in this.
And she actually speaks and influences what happens at that meeting. By the way,
I have a serious question for Jim.
Okay.
Is the romantic relationship in this film more or less disturbing than the one posited in Chances Are?
I knew
less disturbing.
Oh, it's way less disturbing.
Yeah, way less disturbing.
Plausibility.
Sorry, Brian.
Could be.
He looks heartbroken right now.
I'm just curious for
he looks like what I've been looking this whole entire episode.
I am just curious that solely, I'm disturbed from the Ellen Barkin perspective that he clearly only wants to be with her because she looks like his dead wife. And she seems to have absolutely no problems with that.
Oh, you were married. First of all, she doesn't know. So they were separated at birth. So she doesn't know this man.
Well, no, that's just a fucking guess, by the way. There is nothing in this movie. He's like,
no, I think he said that.
Well, no, he said it, but how the fuck does he know? He goes,
yeah.
He just looks off in the distance. And he's like, oh yeah,
I have an idea.
Separated birth.
I have an idea that the 8-year-old screenwriter thought they must have been separated at birth.
He asked what town she was from, and then like he properly guessed. She's like, oh, I was born there, but then I was like adopted and moved here.
Instead of what the rest of humanity would think, which is you have a doppelganger, and it's my dead wife, right? Like that's what most people would be like. Whoa, I know somebody who looks just like you. He says you must be her identical twin sister who was separated from her at birth.
Yeah. So it's ridiculous.
I mean, she's the same age, and she was born in the same town. It's easy to deduce that.
Now, if you're living in a world where there's an 8th dimension where you can travel through space and time,
yeah, we skipped over those others.
Yeah, so the more plausible option is they were identical twins separated at birth, not that this is actually my dead ex-wife who has somehow been reincarnated. Maybe as a red lectoid. Maybe this is an alien life form who has been sent to me to distract me from my true mission. Because all I can think about is seducing my dead ex-wife. I mean, that seems like a more plausible story.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Buckaroo is surrounded by these totally interesting characters that he has collected. And literally there's a scroll in the beginning that tells you he has collected. He literally, I think the word collected is actually used. Like he has met interesting humans, brought them into his flock,
his
tour bus, which is, they are the what were the name of the band again?
The Hong Kong Cavaliers.
The Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Yep.
Jinx,
and they're awesome. And we get no fucking information about any of them.
No, they're not. They're unimportant.
Which is, I'm sure there was that when they think about like making this a franchise, they thought, we'll devote one movie to each one of these people. That gives us like 10 fucking movies. We're in the fucking money.
So generally, when you have a likable main character,
kids are gonna love this.
There's a flaw, especially if you have somebody who's really good at a lot of stuff. Right? There's something. If he's good at everything,
it's the Superman problem.
He's Hercules.
It's
right?
the Superman problem.
He's Hercules. What is this man's flaw? There's not a moment.
He has terrible fucking taste in music.
Well, true.
I don't think he was very good singer. To be fair, I thought his cover.
I didn't. It seems like everybody else thought he was great.
It wasn't exactly in tune, but it was heartfelt.
It was very out of tune.
But that's what real live music feels like.
I did not have a problem with when he broke it down and started playing. I mean, plot wise, playing that song right then is fucking batshit crazy. Not great for your set.
You're suicidal. Let me sing you a song.
But I didn't think the actual performance of the song was terrible.
I would all day like a kind of reality Big Brother-esque show taking place at the Buckaroo Banzai complex with the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Are you saying it's a commune? Because I'd like to.
Yeah, it is.
I'd like to posit this.
Yeah, I think it is a commune.
Are there more women, or is it just Ellen Barkin?
Do you think Ellen Barkin would stuff Buckaroo Banzai into the carcass of a bear and light him on fire?
It's a great question.
She had that vibe.
She is the only female besides Rosalind Cash that exists on this planet. So
that's true.
She probably would get to that point.
Speaking of which, why was the president in traction?
Never explained. Never explained.
He hasn't heard back.
Can we also ask why the president makes phone calls to a paid telephone? Why was that?
That was the aliens.
No, that was the aliens. But there was a point where he calls Buckaroo Banzai, right? Where this is like a normal conversation. Like get Buckaroo Banzai on the phone.
Well, that makes sense though. Plot-wise, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Buckaroo is that important?
He's that important, man. He's been operating on brains and traveling through mountains.
I love that Jeff Goldblum, when he joins if this movie was made today, what would happen is the audience's perspective would be following Jeff Goldblum, right? If you want to bring, this is the classic, outsider coming into a group scenario. I think of movies like Waiting and I
thought if I wore this costume that everyone would like me.
Yeah.
I was led to believe this would be a costumed event. But am I to believe I'm the only one in costume?
Yeah. But they totally ignore acclimating the audience to what the fuck is going on in this movie. And I am sorry, that is not charming in this film. It is a confused, bloated mess of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, and it seems like there was a room full of people who knew all of the other pieces of this story, and they just made this movie for them.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where you're literally an hour into it, and it's only a little over an hour and a half, and you still don't know the full plot of what's happening, what the stakes are for the final third of the movie, and then you find out, and you're well, it's not one of those things where all the dominoes fall backwards and you're oh, that makes so much sense why that happened and why that... No, it's just people doing stuff.
Here's the problem of creating story one of a potential series.
But it's not story one, it's 5 and you jump in the
There's
middle.
Hubris involved, right? Because so
to compare it to Star Wars, first off, that's hubris right there. Go. Sorry.
Thank you. Well, so there are a few systems, stories, packages that are purchased as a whole, right? So Harry Potter gets purchased as we are making 7 movies.
Well, it's different world, but
totally different. No, but right, but that's you have the financial backing to say we are exploring this entire thing. I would still say that the first story of Harry Potter could exist on its own. It would be fine, right? One complete story.
Worst one.
Fine, but it's complete.
I got you.
So in a cinematic world where there's only been one story purchased, you better make sure that one freaking story makes sense.
Right.
Because there is no guarantee that there is a second film. This is not Fast and the Furious.
Well, they thought someone clearly thought this was as good as Star Wars.
I can't imagine.
And so what George Lucas did was he had in his mind what he wanted Star Wars to be. And he decided that his one shot, he was going to get one shot to make a part of this series, and he picked what he thought was the most complete story in episode 4, right? He decided that was the and it's exactly what I'm talking about. Bringing an unknown outside person, Luke Skywalker, into what this world is, and him experiencing what the Force is, what's this, what's that. Again, none of that is present in this movie.
Yep.
By the way, though, just really quickly, when I was saying that it has influences like Star Wars. It's not that this was influenced by Star Wars. This was influenced by the pulp comics that influenced Star Wars. So this is actually like influenced by the stuff that influenced George Lucas.
So then this is a cautionary tale.
This is heavily influenced by like Doc Savage, which is a comic from the 30s.
What is the background of this? Was this a wholly unique creation for the film, or was this kicking around? Did they spin this off in the comics? What is out there in the
there is comics. There is comics that expand the world and finally like explain where it was supposed to go and all the different things, because when the writer did write it, he wrote like this huge like thick novel about everything, and then they just decided to take parts. And he said that he was influenced by like comics like Doc Savage, the 1970s kung fu movies that were just like you start them and they just like go, and there's like he wanted it fast paced like that. Thick.
Like it.
Why does Keenan make your mind go right to the gutter?
I didn't like the way he said that.
Is that novel? Is that novel?
There is a novel. There is a novelization of this that has a lot of that stuff included.
Is it available for purchase? Because someone's birthday is this month.
No.
I'm just thinking it might make.
I don't need this. I don't want this in my life. I don't want it.
It might make a good companion piece.
What's the matter?
But this,
I don't know where Mazes and Monsters went.
Oh no.
This is very much
one of our
like,
children reading it.
That makes sense.
It is like the pulp comics, and it's just kind of like that same thing of like a lot of people who jump into comics, like you pick up an issue, chances are you're not picking up like issue 1. So you're picking up issue like 2 or 3, and you just jump in, then you get excited, you're attached by the bright, shiny lights and the colorful costumes. By the way, I'm speaking as a child reading comics, not an adult. And then you get caught up in it, and that's very much what this movie is. It really does have that feeling.
I totally agree. There is something... And part of me wanted to like really like it for that purpose. Like it just, the plot of like what they are dealing with in this movie makes it so inaccessible. If it was just like these aliens are invading, we need to fight them, it would have came off so much better. It's so overly complex of like what the actual plot of this specific piece is that it becomes cumbersome to like deal with. So like I love the idea of like this week on Buckaroo Banzai we are fighting the aliens from the 8th dimension.
They should have started like, that way. That would have been a better start, like a Danny DeVito-esque narration at the beginning.
Right. That was done
LA Confidential.
LA Confidential, yeah. And so like I get that, and I love that idea. This movie, for as crazy, interesting, it is so fucking boring. I just find it so boring. Like nothing interesting is happening. All the tension of like a climax or like a confrontation is like stripped away. At the end, literally the end confrontation of like Buckaroo Banzai being in the same room with John Lithgow and the fight ensuing. From there until the end, it is a masterclass in how to fucking ruin a movie. Literally, he walks in the room, John Lithgow yells something.
Yelling.
I know.
Lots of yelling.
Very,
well, I think there's a lot of yelling in the movie, actually. I'm not
loud
John
noises.
Lithgow yells and points something unintelligible, and then they start shooting. There's no like, I'm sneaking in. I'm like, there's going to be this confrontation. And then they're flying around in these aircrafts, and there's literally so many scenes in this movie of people just like fiddling knobs and doing things with like alien spacecrafts and stuff, and it goes on for so long, and there's like it's just so not interesting.
Compare and contrast John Parker and Grigg from The Last Starfighter.
I would rather watch Last Starfighter every day of the week than this movie. Maybe not. That might not be true.
Similar facial structure, though.
So like this to me, and I'm sorry, Keenan, I know you love this movie, but there was like, this was not even bad on a level that like I enjoyed it.
It's a flaming turd.
This is, I don't know, it's supposed to be silly and fun. But
it's not. But I have to say, so we read the synopsis because I was like, what the hell is this movie? We read the synopsis, and I said that, Keenan. I said, this sounds fun. This sounds like this is going to be a fun movie.
Katie fell asleep.
This is going to be what? I fell asleep. It was not a fun movie.
So, all right, to be fair, Keenan, you rewatched it. You were nervous about rewatching it. What do you
should have been
actually
nervous.
like? Specific pieces of this movie do you actually like, other than it's bad and it checks the box of like a movie that Keenan enjoys nostalgia wise, and like, what do you find fun about it?
I don't know.
Is this your chances are?
Oh, maybe.
Is this your chances are where it's like objectively I can say this is a horrible movie, but for some reason this movie has like clawed its way into my heart.
Significantly better movie.
Chances are it's a better movie than this.
Shut up, Katie.
Jim, say it.
I'm
going to make you say it.
Don't
You have
worry.
to say
We're going to make him say it.
One cohesive storyline. Chances are has one story to tell, and it's
We're going to make Jim admit
like
that
Mazes and Monsters is so bad
so bad
and hilarious because it's so bad.
It's also better than
I
this
think
movie.
there's a lot. Listen, there's a lot of humor in this. There is a lot of humor.
I did
will
not
have to
laugh
say this.
out
I
loud
thought
one
the ca-
time
I-
at something.
I thought the main character could do so much better.
I didn't laugh at anything that they were trying to pull off as a joke.
I thought
Jeff Goldblum.
I
cracked me
don't
up
think
I love
this
Jeff
is
Goldblum.
good.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
wrong.
think it's awful.
Because he's
True.
just
Jeff
playing himself.
Jeff
Goldblum is
Goldblum
great.
is Jeff Goldblum, and
Always funny.
he was great.
They should have played more
He's
New
the best-
Jersey.
he is the best part of this
Always
movie.
err on the side of more
I
New
think.
Jersey. More Jeff Goldblum and more New Jersey.
All right. Now, I want to help Keenan here.
Okay.
And through that,
know
we're going
you
to
do.
bring in his pop-addled co-host.
You don't need to help
Just a
Keenan.
little
You
light
picked this
ball
movie,
play.
you shithead.
Just a little-
Not Keenan. You picked
A
this
little
movie.
bone crusher.
We're going to have Keenan on for a movie of his
trumpet.
picking at some point.
Well,
Yes.
he probably would have picked this movie.
No, he'll
No,
pick
whatever.
something better.
So here is, listen, we asked Tim, as he does each week on Pop Addled, to break down
Well, the weeks that we do movies.
movies.
Yeah,
The
I just burped into the
IMDb ratings, the box office, etc.
Is
So
this
here's
going to-
Tim.
No, is this going to decrease? I'm going to take my headphones off. Is this going to decrease my love for Tim?
No. He's just no.
He's just
Hello,
the facts.
Jimmy, Brian, Katie, and Keenan. Hello, Comm Majors listeners. This is Timmy, co-host of the Pop Addled podcast. Unfortunately, you're listening to
Voice
the
of
worst
Chocolate
part
Velvet.
of Pop Addled, that is Keenan. You are also listening to the discussion on a batshit crazy movie, Buckaroo Banzai. Wow, holy shit. I mean, I don't want to get into my own feelings on this movie, but I am glad I watched it because it is a big part of pop culture history. And, it's not that long of a movie, but man, it's bad.
Yes, Tim. Yes.
Yeah, just
Yes,
it's
Tim.
tough to make sense of really anything with this movie. But anyway, I'm here to give you just some numbers. Rotten Tomatoes score, it is a very, very nice 69%. Also a very, very nice audience score of 69%. On IMDb,
seems
it's got a
doctored.
rating of 6.3. And then the rating I kind of place my most weight in as far as ratings go is the Metascore. It has a 70. A 70.
That's unbelievable.
To give you context, specifically to Comm Majors movies, we just did Midsummer. That had a Metascore of 72.
Oh my God.
So people,
I'm sick to my stomach.
or critics barely liked Midsummer over this movie. Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 65 Metascore. A Few Good Men, 62 Metascore. What the fuck is going on
Thank
with
you, Tim.
the ratings for this movie? Moving on to what this movie made in the box office, the numbers are kind of not to the public's knowledge, like from what I can gather on the internet. There's no budget listed. It did make in its
17
opening
million.
weekend domestically $620,000, not million, $620,000, and then domestically / worldwide, it's the same number. It's 6,254,000. So this movie was a dud. It did not make much money, and rightfully so. It's fucking insane. So yeah, back to
All right.
regular programming, and thanks for letting me cut in with some numbers.
So Michael Moore, Tim Parker has just revealed that this movie was actually a piece of government propaganda.
Why did you say Michael Moore?
What's his name? Who does the Super Size Me?
Yeah,
no, that's a different guy.
No,
that's a different guy.
Whatever.
That's a faker too.
Morgan Spurlock.
Different guy. This is the next conspiracy theory. This movie was made. Who's 84? Reagan. This is anti-communist propaganda made by the government. No, I really do.
How does this?
This is an actual film that was made by a studio.
I mean, like,
This was
let's
a
be
film
honest.
made by the writer of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes.
Oh, Brian.
Yes, it was.
No.
It was.
Say it
Yes,
ain't
was.
so.
Here's the thing,
Yes,
though.
it was.
But this is one of the reasons I picked this movie. This ties directly into our discussion of what happens when things go bad with ideas. Big Trouble in Little China, batshit crazy, but it had John Carpenter and Kurt Russell.
It all
and they're
worked
able
out.
to pull it together. It all worked out. This is the other type of stuff
goes
that
the
was
other
being
way.
made in the 80s.
Nothing is funny.
No, you're totally
Nothing
right.
makes sense.
There is something here that could have been as iconic
With the right-
as
Yes.
as
with the
not
right
iconic. I don't want to say Big
right
Trouble in
the-
China is
This
iconic,
is
but
a cult hit.
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
No,
It
it's
is
not.
not a cult hit.
It's
Cult,
not.
people
It is.
know
No.
cult hits.
cult
People know the
hits.
names of
People,
cult
a lot
hits.
of people do
Nobody
know this
knows
movie.
this
In
movie.
Gilead's
You're-
defense,
no,
a lot of
that's
people
fair.
know this movie.
But it
That's-
is
they do.
known because it's so bad. It's not known because it's like a cult classic that you can mine for like. It's okay. It's not a great movie, but there is such an interesting thing going on here. That's not this movie.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, that's my
This has-
personal. Go ahead. I mean, as Clancy Brown, which immediately I was like,
Clancy. I love Clancy Brown. I
Yeah.
love me some Clancy Brown.
he was great in this.
I mean,
He got. Did he die? I don't know.
don't
They
know.
really
He was
tell
in
me.
I was reading
right.
Jim the list of the actors and actress in this film, and I was like, "This it's got a ton of great people, great people. Storyline seems insane. This is gonna be so much fun."
Many people, including Kevin Smith.
That's completely fine. Kevin Smith
Wes Anderson.
needs to whittle out some of the shit that he was influenced by and make a good movie.
They
He
watched
hasn't
it.
made a
and they
good
were like,
movie in like
I could do
25
this better.
years.
True. That's true.
I could do
That's
this
true.
better.
That's very true. Kevin Smith. Yeah. No, Wes Anderson has even taken like one of his movies, The Life Aquatic, had the same ending from
That's
Buckaroo
fine.
Banzai.
That's completely fine. It doesn't make this a good
It's
movie.
because the people watched this movie and they were like, if the person that wrote this story can get backed, get financial backing to make this into a theater release, then I can make movies.
Like if
Donald Trump can be president, then I can be president.
if you even say like it's based on those like pulp serials, whatever, like Indiana Jones and Star Wars, like those are fun, not life-changing stories, not deep stories. They're based on the same shit,
Right.
but they're cohesive narratives. Like that's the biggest problem with this is that like honestly, this seems like there could have been something really amazing and special about this, right? Like when you think about things like as crazy as something like Scott Pilgrim is, right? Like we're going to create this, like this guy who wants to date this girl and we're going to make it like a video game and it's based on the comic book and it's batshit crazy.
I have a very important question.
Yeah.
So Penny escapes from.
I was literally in the
room.
middle of something there. That's
fine.
This is what your important
You were
question
done.
is.
I'm done.
You were done.
Penny escapes from what?
I don't know. She was being held.
John Bick Booty.
Somewhere.
Wasn't she being
John Big.
Bick?
Oh, we didn't even talk about
What
this.
exactly
piece.
is Penny wearing on her bottom half?
Oh, the
What is-
clothes.
what is she
Yes.
wearing?
Let's talk about the clothes
Because
in
this
general.
reminded
starting
us
with Penny.
of how did this get made?
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
Yes.
The Alyssa
Yeah.
Milano jean short pants.
Thing. Yeah.
There was a
They were
was
like
a
chaps.
pants.
They were like jean
there was
chaps.
an opening that made it seem like shorts,
Kind of. Yeah.
but it was pants.
In this, it's like
Ellen Barkins, I know exactly what they are.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
Tell me.
actually do. They are like the samurai pants, just with a huge slit down the side.
Where did she get them from?
I don't know. He's big into martial
Wait a
arts.
sec-
So
but
when
there's
was
like
anybody
some
getting
kind of
any
like
clothes they're
there's
wearing
some
in
kind
this
of like
movie?
undergarment that like covers the. It's not even an undergarment. There's there's some kind of like short that covers her underwear, and then these pants on top.
Are you telling me, Keenan?
Yeah.
That these pants were in Buckaroo Banzai's closet,
and he
and so that I can imagine Buckaroo Banzai wearing these pants with his pocket trouser?
Maybe they were his
pocket
wife's.
trumpet?
Like she found the pants and then she like just slit the sides. Like,
she wanted to make them a little more revealing, as women do.
Right,
as women do.
Like a boyfriend.
They're like, I need to wear some pants, so I'm going to take these from this closet, but I got to sex this up.
She had to sex it up because her prison sex fantasy did not work.
I got it.
She knows he's in love with her identical dead sister.
Yes.
So she's got to, attract him.
I have to make sure that he recognizes what I got it. All right.
Okay.
Let's go. Hold on. Can I just say this? When I was watching this, I thought of something that we've talked about on the show before. Yeah. I feel like they decided like, we're going to be influencers with this movie. You know, like some movies like affect fashion, but not purposely, like Clueless or all these other movies. I think they felt like we're going to make people dress a certain way by dressing like
I totally had those
really,
pants. Right. You're totally right. This is the problem with things that were like, so like to Keenan's point, like, yeah, it's influenced by those serials, but it's also influenced by the gigantic cash flow of Star Wars. And so it's like, oh my God, if we can make something like Star Wars and get that same crowd in the door, we can do anything we want. And so like
a lot of
they clearly thought at some point, wait.
We also don't get amazing pieces.
Time out.
Yeah.
So at some point during the production of this movie, whether it was the script, whether it was like they filmed half of it, whatever, someone was like, this is going to be fucking bigger than Star Wars, and we can do whatever the fuck we want.
I thought you were going to say somebody was like, guys, this is actually shit.
No, I don't think they thought that at all.
No one thought that at all.
This is not good.
No, this is the perfect storm of no one telling you.
This is a whole bunch of white men in a room giving each other hand jobs. This is just everybody in a circle jerk. This is like everybody. This is so
what
good.
Caddyshack probably should have been. Right?
This is the reverse.
They're making Caddyshack, and they're like, oh, this crazy
Let's make
shit's
the
going
Lectoids
on.
Rastafarian.
This is the reverse Midsummer. Like there's a room full of dudes naked, just jacking each other off, and there's one girl in there going like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Kind of like the one woman telling the president, like, "These people are all fools."
Yes.
Yep.
I will say that this film has influenced me. That I'm now
no more boners.
I'm now teetering for Keenan's wedding event. Once he has the actual event, because they had to do a small thing, right? It's February of 20.
No. It was going to be February of 2021. Okay. Now it's October.
October 2021. I was thinking of going dressed as Alex Finch from Chances Are. I am now considering going as Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh my God! If you do that, I will dress as Penny. I will wear the samurai pants.
I've already thought of that. If Keenan, if you truly go forward with like a Halloween-inspired thing where people are getting dressed up,
movie themed.
Yeah.
Then I have to go as Georgie from It, because I joined Keenan and Mandy for an episode about It Chapter 2.
Oh, all right, that's fair.
And I was Georgie at my brother's Halloween wedding.
You were. We still
had
the yellow,
yellow raincoat.
I think I actually gave it
and
away,
a red balloon.
I'll get you another one if you really want to.
As much as I've crapped on this movie, I would watch it again. I've watched it several times in the past. I don't think it's great at all, but there's something kind of endearing when you see it the second time, and it's not long and it's not good. I'm not saying it's good.
Brian, we said that. I said, "Oh, this is not a long movie," and then it felt so freaking long.
I think the second viewing, you don't have to pay as much attention to it. So
exactly.
You can just kind of get.
You pick up on other stuff. And
now that being said, it is really not good.
It's not good.
Like it's.
Not good.
I mean, like
Keenan,
I can at least kind of get what they were trying to do.
There are so many comic book movies.
Yeah,
there's so many.
No. Let's talk about
too many.
So, Keenan, you quote unquote on Pop Addled have talked a lot about quote unquote Keenan movies.
Right.
So like this is obviously one of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Last Starfighter is another one.
Last Starfighter. You've talked a little bit about the later Jaws sequels.
Yes.
What are some?
I am obsessed with that.
What are some other really terrible movies that you like?
Well, hold it. Don't give away too
hold on.
much because that is one of our 5 questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right.
And can we just end with this? I want to give Keenan. Can we just let Keenan so that and maybe in a somewhat positive way for this movie because we had him as our guest.
Well,
we'll give you 1 minute here. Sell somebody who has not seen Buckaroo Banzai.
Not interested in hearing it.
On why they should watch Buckaroo Banzai. All right, we won't say anything. 1 minute. Tell us why somebody should watch Buckaroo Banzai.
This movie is batshit insane. It is fun. It is funny. It is. I saw a review of it that I agree with. It is what it says. It's a comedy that they just took out the punchlines of. And I like that. I kind of think it's fun. It's unique. It's not anything that's ever been made before, and it's not anything that's tried to be made again. Like it stands out on its own. It is unique and original. And you know what? It's fun. If you're going in trying to watch a great movie, I know you're following up this episode from Midsummer. And Midsummer, amazing, excellent movie. This is not an amazing, excellent movie, but it is a fun movie that if you don't go in expecting a good movie, you're going to have a good time.
It's funny you should say the word
That's
excellent.
like a Roni Jaffe book cover. Right. If you go in expecting not to see a good movie, you're okay.
Right. Because like I kept thinking of like silly, crazy movies that I find fun, like
Roadhouse.
Oh,
Big Trouble in Little China.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Excellent.
Bogus Journey too.
I have not watched that since the theater, and I don't know how bad it is, but it's probably pretty bad.
It's excellent.
What's the science one?
Weird Science?
Yes.
Whoa,
that's a great movie.
I know.
But like, I get it. Yeah, and so I think for a lot of people, when it comes down to a movie of this caliber, the sense of humor you have needs to like take you over the edge, and that's very personal to each individual person. So I get it how Keenan can love this.
Is this the way that you love Happy Texas?
I also don't know that Keenan hates anything.
Keenan, do you hate any movies?
I hated cats. I hated cats.
All right, there is a limit. The limit does exist. Okay.
I'm not a big fan of The Notebook either.
Not even Dame Judi Dench licking herself? Not even that?
No.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, you can get this. I would encourage you to watch this movie on Amazon Prime because it is free.
No, don't listen. No.
I would encourage you to watch it. All right, Game of the Week time.
All right.
Game of the Week.
You're doing the dance.
Higher or lower. I've picked some of our more controversial films, and we're going to see how we would put Buckaroo Banzai up against those. Let's start out with last year's Amazon August disturbing film selection, Mazes and Monsters. Would you say that this is higher or lower than Mazes and Monsters?
This is lower. Oh, I'm sorry.
Higher.
Sorry. I jumped ahead.
No, you can each go. So Katie's lower, Keenan's higher, Jim.
I'm going with enjoyment, and I'm going lower.
Wow.
It's a better movie. It's higher as a movie and as a production whole, but as far as my personal enjoyment, I think it's lower.
I think this is higher, but I would challenge someone to do a double feature.
Oh, God.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Keenan, have you watched Mazes and Monsters yet?
You can make things. You can build. You can bake stuff.
Stick with it, dude.
In 3 hours of time.
That's why I was
it's
like,
it's based on the cereals of the 30s. You're gonna love it.
It's Rona Jaffe's best work.
You can make blueberry muffins. You could take a master class.
It is.
You could read a book in 3 hours.
Imagine. So, like, let me just preface this by saying, like, maybe this will make you watch the rest of Mazes and Monsters if you approach it thinking that it is like an after-school special about mazes and about Dungeons and Dragons being bad, expanded to a full film.
No, I thought you were going to throw back at him the same thing he said. If you approach it thinking this is going to be a good movie, you're going to be disappointed.
No, you are going to be
disappointed. Not to be. All right, here we go. How about we brought this one up? Is this film higher or lower than The Last Starfighter?
Lower for me. Keenan, you're the deciding vote.
Wait, is this movie higher or lower?
Yeah, which Buckaroo Banzai higher or lower than Last Starfighter?
I'm lower. Yeah.
Yeah.
But by like a smidge.
I'll be honest.
I don't know, man. That community of Trailer Park.
Greg.
Greg, better alien,
Wins.
better soundtrack.
Better lady, better lady, token
understandable
woman.
story.
I think Lance's guest performance in Last Starfighter is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. All right, how about
I love the concept of it.
How about John Wick?
Oh,
Is this film higher or lower than John Wick?
Lower.
I will even say this film is lower than John Wick.
All right, that was the only reason I put that on the list. How about a little film called Labyrinth?
Lower.
Labyrinth is amazing.
Higher.
Masterpiece.
I think I would rather watch The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai than watch Labyrinth.
You need to expand.
Brian was very offended by Labyrinth.
I really was disgusted by Labyrinth as a film.
Where is Gareth?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Where is he? I don't see
Keenan,
him.
have you seen Gareth?
I see him behind you.
Jared.
I'm sorry.
No.
It's a soft.
Jared.
It's a soft.
Gareth,
Soft,
you fucking
soft J.
Anglophile.
It's a soft J, a hard
You
cod
fucking
piece.
Anglophile.
Hard cod piece, though. Very hard cod piece. He has an enormous pocket trumpet in that film.
Yes.
And finally,
The best David Bowie songs, all the you just
So much
Magic
Bowie
Dance
crushing.
is amazing.
magic dance.
And Chilly Down.
What is the one about the heads?
That's Chilly Down. And that's also, Bowie wrote that too.
Yeah, of course he did.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And finally, how about Chances Are, Jim? Would you put this film higher or lower than Chances Are?
Oh,
Lower.
Higher.
We just
Keenan, did you watch
You are
Chances Are?
missing.
No, I refuse to.
No,
You
watch
haven't
it with
watched
Mandy.
it.
You have to watch it with
How
Mandy.
did you not
You
watch
will-
Chances Are?
understand.
I have a feeling,
What a fun
Keenan.
bad
Keenan is
movie
going
is.
to like it.
Keenan's
I think
gonna
Keenan will
love
like
that movie.
Chance.
I have a feeling that Keenan is going to be
You might
team.
change
I'm
your
telling
wedding
Chances
song.
Are.
You might change your wedding song.
All right, that's Game of the Week. Time for 5 questions.
You want answers? You want answers? I want the truth!
I got a little drunk.
Mr. Lebowski.
I don't know
I
how.
poured a lot of whiskey.
I'm very tipsy.
Question time with
Buckaroo
Keenan
Banzai.
Laird. Keenan, here we go.
right.
Thumbs up or thumbs down question. Were you a fan of the NBC sitcom starring the amazing John Lithgow, Third Rock from the Sun? Thumbs up or
Yes,
thumbs down?
I enjoyed it. Yeah. Introduced JGL.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah.
That underrated show. I thought that show for a while was pretty
Gave
good.
French Stewart a career for a short period.
Well, that was the downside, probably.
Why? Yeah. What's going on with Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Why isn't he gigantic right
I
now?
do miss him.
Well, he's. I mean, he's in a bunch of stuff. He's producing, directing his own
Yep.
stuff. I think,
Really?
isn't he?
I haven't seen that.
Producing, writing.
Yeah. Okay. I know he's
And
doing
he's
a
got
ton of
he's-
stuff online.
Yeah. He's doing a lot of like his hit record stuff.
Yeah.
like,
Hit Record is gigantic.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he wants to be more than just a.
I agree, but
You
I
know,
think he's
actor.
I think he's incredible.
Oh, he's
and
an
needs to be in
unbelievable
so much
actor.
stuff.
He's so good.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Question number 2: Who does a better cover of the song "Since I Don't Have You"? Buckaroo Banzai and the Hong Kong Cavaliers, or Guns N' Roses?
Hard choices.
So because of this question, I had to actually listen to the Guns N' Roses cover, which I did not know they made. I mean, Guns N' Roses does have Slash killing it on guitar, but in this,
What about
you got,
Pretty
you
Tommy,
got
though?
the you got the
Perfect.
No,
sweet
Tommy.
dulcet
No, wait.
tones of
No.
Peter Weller's voice.
Yeah, timeout. It's not a Buckaroo Banzai and the Hong Kong Cavaliers cover because
Yeah, no, it's
It's
just
Well, they
totally
started to play a
Buckaroo.
little bit.
It's
They
just
did
Did they?
Peter Weller.
I don't know.
I mean, they play a little bit, but then all of a sudden the gunshot.
I'd like to think that if we had a full concert, and she hadn't pulled a gun out and tried to shoot herself in the head, we would have gotten the whole.
By the way,
involved.
was that concert in a high school cafeteria?
Yeah, I know. You think he would be? Somebody might want to talk to his manager. You think he'd be playing bigger venues at that point? Keenan,
no, I'm going with Buckaroo.
All right, Buckaroo. I love it
on this one.
Question 3, fill in the blank question here. What is the total amount of cocaine consumed? If you could give it to me in US dollars, used during the production of this film.
Okay, so I did some research on this, and I did more research than Tim did apparently, because I found that the budget, some places has it listed as 12 million, others have it listed as 17 million. I'm going to assume that 5 million difference was just cocaine.
Yeah. So 5. I like that. It's
higher or lower than Jerry Bruckheimer?
John Lithgow got to
they
do
had a lot of
load
money. They were
coke.
successful.
Slightly lower than Stephen King.
Jesus.
That was
read the Tommy Knockers. You'll know about cocaine. Risk. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Okay, favorite question, Keenan. What's your favorite Jeff Goldblum movie?
Favorite? So I'm gonna go with Earth Girls Are Easy.
Oh my God!
Oh Jesus!
Jeff Goldblum, Damon Wayans, Jim
Earth
Carrey.
Girls Are Easy. Higher or lower than this film, Jim?
I'm going to say it's probably higher just based on the fact that Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans are in it. And
it is batshit insane. It's right along the same thing as this. But no, honestly, it's The Fly. The Fly is his best performance.
I remember seeing The Fly for the first time, like back when it came out, and it's grotesque. It is tough to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the point of it. I think that's what Cronenberg was going for. But yeah.
It's tough. And finally, deep thoughts question. Keenan, what is a movie that everyone tells you is awful, but you absolutely love it? And then sell us on why we should watch it.
Well, I was going to say Roadhouse, but Katie already brought that up when we were talking about bad movies.
First of all, that's not a bad
Everybody
movie.
knows it's a wonderful movie.
We already watched it.
Yeah.
They get so happy about killing people.
That is an actual cult classic.
It's my favorite part of that movie is that all the townspeople who could not stand up to this douchebag until Patrick Swayze came along, get so fucking happy and jokey about killing people.
Inspiration for Midsummer.
We actually did do to give myself to give a little plug. We did do a top 5 terrible movies we love. My number 1 was Roadhouse. Okay. So that's why I was going to go with Roadhouse. But you know what? I'm going to go, because you brought it up, I'm going to go with Jaws 5.
Okay, tell us about Jaws 5, because I don't remember.
Jaws 4. Sorry, Jaws 4.
The Revenge, where they go to the Caribbean,
the one in
right?
the Bahamas.
Yes. Where she goes to the Bahamas and the shark follows her.
Because
Michael Caine's in that, right?
Family.
Yes.
Michael Caine is. This movie is so bad but good, but it's so bad that Michael Caine, when asked if he had seen the movie, flat out said, "Nope, but I've seen the porch that it built." That is his views on this movie.
I appreciate that.
It is.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you just need to. It really is. You know, say what you will. Obviously, you know, Jim, Katie, Brian, you guys are not agreeing that like Buckaroo Banzai is so bad it's good.
No,
but Jaws 4 is so bad.
One Mr. Mario Van Peebles is in
Mario Van Peebles doing an accent that goes in and out, and you don't even know where it's from. It is in.
I just remember them on some sort of like catamaran type boat.
I can't believe you saw this
the banana boat. The kids are on the banana boat, and the
Yeah.
shark comes up. Anytime I see people on banana boats, that's all I can
saw
think
this
of
movie
is the shark just.
in like the 80s when it was
this
made.
is before we knew each other.
This was long.
This was a long
time.
time.
And I remember seeing it at the time, being a kid, being like, this is a terrible movie that I will never watch again.
It opens with the shark setting a trap. The shark sets a trap.
I like that actually.
like
The shark
like
somehow puts
Chester Copperfield trap.
Yeah, it puts a raincoat on a piece of driftwood to get the one Brody kid to come out and look at it because he thinks it's a body, and then all of a sudden when he goes to check it, shark comes up, gets him.
Maybe
That's happened to me many times.
Maybe this is the It universe. Maybe it wasn't, because there is a shark in It that eats.
I like it.
I've known many a shark in a raincoat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Georgie.
Jaws the Revenge, though. I highly recommend it.
All right.
For anyone
It's
who likes terrible movies.
streaming on HBO Max currently.
Yes.
All the Jaws films are there.
Jesus Christ.
All the Jaws films are on HBO Max.
Oh my God, don't do
Keenan, where can we find Pop Addled?
Of course, we're on all streaming apps. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, all that crap. You can get us facebook.com/popaddled. I'm on Instagram. Tim is on Twitter @popaddled. And then, of course, we have an email, popaddled@gmail.com, where people can interact with us.
What's your most recent episode did you do? What'd you do?
We just did the latest Mission Impossible. We did Fallout. And we have...
No, Rogue Nation.
You record
Rogue Nation. Sorry, I always get them mixed up. I do. I don't know why.
I have the same
because it's
problem.
forgettable.
Ghost Protocol, Fallout, Rogue Nation. I always forget which order they came in. I had the same problem when we did all the Resident Evil movies. So, like, once they stop numbering and just start calling them names, like, I don't know where they fall in.
Yeah.
I just call each one whatever I think is right. But coming up on Monday, we have.
You're going to be a
Guns
great
Akimbo.
father when you have 5 kids.
I know.
whatever.
And you can't call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Where's 2?
Where's number 2?
I'm going to do the George Foreman thing. Just name them all George. That's it. Even though my name's not George, I'm just going to name them George.
Name them George. I
George
like
1,
it,
George 2. But no, our next episode is going to be Guns Akimbo.
Oh, we
Daniel
watched the trailer
Radcliffe.
for that with Daniel Radcliffe.
Available on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
We got to watch that.
Did you watch it already?
Have not watched it.
Okay.
Planning on watching it this weekend.
Well, we make fun of Keenan, but we actually really love Keenan.
We love him very much.
We love you, Keenan.
So next week we're doing The Big Sick.
Look at all his
But we-
toys. I love his toys.
which is-
I was looking at this lady.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot. So we're doing The Big Sick next week,
And
which
what-
is really exciting. But we have a little drawing. We've on social media been asking for movies that people would like us to do, and we're going to select it, and it will be our last film in Amazon
This
August.
is very exciting.
All right,
This is a
so
huge
here we
deal.
go.
The box. Hold on. I
Lots
want to
of-
see the box. I want to see the box.
What's the
Starbucks.
box?
Starbucks.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Katie created
right.
that for Brian, I
I
think.
did.
All
Some
right,
more
here we go.
sober time in my life.
Oh, let it be my bad pick.
No.
Oh, I am so fucking terrified right now.
Nothing
I
could
don't
be
know.
worse than this. Nothing could be worse than this, Jim.
Yes,
this
there's
is
a lot
the
worse
low
than this.
point of
No, I don't know.
This is
Actually, don't be my pick. Don't be my pick. Be my good pick.
Wind, a movie about competitive yacht racing, starring Matthew Modine and Jennifer Grey.
Who recommended
Oh
this?
my God! Wait a second. I remember this movie.
What is this? What is
This
this?
is
Look
from-
this up.
This
Who's
is
this
from
from?
Garner, a film
Garner.
that many people commented on.
Oh my God! I
A
think I remember this movie.
1992 film.
About
Yeah.
competitive World Cup yacht
This
racing.
does not look
God
good.
damn it.
This does not.
Wait,
look
Fucking
should we
Garner.
Should we pick
Come
one
on,
more?
Garner.
I don't know. This is fucking.
Get down to like critical reviews. Give us reception. 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. There's
hold
only
on.
12 reviews.
All right, hold on. Here, we'll have a
Jesus.
second. We'll have a second choice here.
Yes, we've
and
got
the
to have
second-
an audience vote.
The
An
second
audience
choice
vote
is
is
Side
necessary.
Out. No,
The second
I love
choice.
Side Out.
three, Brian.
I love Side Out. We will
What?
watch that.
Side
Let's
Out
do
is actually
three.
a great movie.
Outstanding.
Let's do 3, and
See
then
Thomas
we'll put a
Howell?
poll up.
I love it.
Okay.
Pick
Three
out 3.
options.
Yeah.
3 options.
I love how
Dear
the
God,
rules
please.
change when you get a shit.
So our choices will be Wind,
Yes.
Clue,
Yes.
Oh, that was one of mine.
recommended by Jamie Rogers,
Yes.
And I also recommend that.
Well done. Well done.
And-
Group text.
Spaceballs.
Okay, I feel good. I feel good about this.
Recommended by
Garner,
Jerry.
I love you, but that movie sounds like shit.
I can't even get it to
12
return
people.
results on
12
Metacritic.
people have watched this movie who are on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, so Jim, you will handle posting the poll, and we will let everyone know. We'll be either watching Clue, Spaceballs, or Wind.
Yep.
All right.
Keenan,
All right.
thanks so much, buddy.
We love you,
Thank
Keenan.
you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This was something.
This
Go
was
watch
a
next-
plus.
I don't
Next
know
time
what
I'm
it
on, we're
was,
doing Mask of
but it was
Phantasm, right?
Yes, Mask of
something.
We do need to watch that.
Go make Mandy watch Chances Are right now. Remember to like, share, subscribe, all those things. We'll be back next time with The Big Sick.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.